You ever turned up on match day, you've slept well, ate right, even had your pre-match pasta, and for some reason you just feel flat. The legs don't respond, you're on a half second behind every ball, and you can't quite switch on. You think, what's going on? I did everything right yesterday. Well, maybe not. Because what you do on match day -1, or MD1, is probably one of the most overlooked but crucial part of performance. It's that fine balance between doing too much or doing nothing. And most people, or should I say players, get it wrong. Today we're going to be diving in how to use match day -1 properly. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to prime your body, fuel it, and get your mind in the right place. So when it comes to match day you don't need to warm into the game, you're already in it. Hey there guys, welcome to another episode of the MH Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Miles Harrison, and today we're going to be talking about how to maximize your match day -1. That's the day before your game. Now, this isn't one of those free hacks to get better type of things. This is actual science, the coaching experience, and the habits I've seen separate the players who perform from the ones who just show up and help me in my game. We're going to be going to break these down into 3 simple pillars. Number 1, the primer session. Number 2, carb loading. And number 3 as well, visualization and a mental prep. And I'll say this now, if you get this match day -1 right, match day starts to feel easier. You're lighter, sharper, and you react before anyone else does. That's what we're chasing. So, grab a coffee, or if you're a player listening to this on the drive to training, turn it up, because we're going to be going to make sense of what match day -1 should actually look like. Number 1, the primer session. Let's start with this, because it's one player messes up the most. Every week, I see 2 extremes. You got one guy doing a 90-minute gym session like he's preparing for the CrossFit Games, and another one doing absolutely nothing and calling it rest. In my opinion, both are wrong. Match day -1 isn't a training day. It's a day to prime yourself to enhance your performance. Think of your body like an engine. You're not rebuilding the engine the day before your race. You're just warming it up, checking the systems, and making sure it's firing properly. When I work with footballers, I use this rule. High intensity, low volume. You want to stimulate, not fatigue. You're trying to tell your nervous system, alright mate, tomorrow we're going to need you to be switched on. It's about rhythm, speed, and intent, not grinding. There's a study from 2019 in the Journal of Strength Conditioning Research that looks at what they call post-activation potentiation. Basically, doing small amounts of explosive work the day before competition. The results, athletes who did few volumes of low explosive efforts, like jumps or short sprints, produced more power the following day. Why is that? Because the nervous system was primed, not tired. So your match day -1 isn't about smashing the gym. It's about sending the right signals. Now, this is how I would kind of like program a primer session. And here's what a good match day -1 might look like. So I might do some kind of like mobility or prep work. Open up the hips, ankles, thoracic. Nothing crazy, just moving. Then I move into some explosive primers. I might do something like 3 sets of 2 and broad jumps, 2 sets of 20 meters acceleration at 90% effort, and then 2 to 3 med ball throws or slam, and that's it. You're in and out in about 30 odd minutes. And you guess what? You're feeling sharp. You should walk away feeling better than what you did when you first started, not cooked. If you're dripping in sweat and you're struggling to breathe, you've probably gone too far. One of the biggest mistakes I see, especially in younger players, is the idea of that doing more the day before that makes you more prepared. It doesn't. It just means that you start the match half recovered. You might feel like you've worked hard, but your body doesn't care about feelings. It cares about readiness. So if your goal is to play fast, explosive football, to sprint, to react and repeat, then the goal of matchday -1 is to protect that freshness. You're topping up, not emptying the tank. Number 2, carb loading. Right, let's now talk about food. Because if I had £1 for every time a player who said, don't worry, a carb load, and then sends me a picture of a large Domino's, I probably would have a Lamborghini by now. But here's the thing, carb loading isn't an excuse to overeat. It's a strategy to make sure that your glycogen stores, that stored carbohydrates in your muscle, are full. When glycogen is low, you fatigue faster. When it's topped up, you can maintain sprint speeds, strength, and you focus a lot longer. And this isn't just theory. There is tons of research on this. Studies from the European Journal of Applied Physiology and Sports Medicine have shown that carbohydrates availability directly affects high intensity performance. You could be a fitter player on the pitch, but if your energy stores are empty, you'll still hit a wall. So you're probably now asking, how much do I need? Well, the science says roughly about 8 to 10 grams per kilogram of your body weight in the 24 hours before your game. So if I was to use myself, for example, I roughly weigh about 75 kg on a good day. So that's probably around 600 to 700 grams of carbohydrates. Now I know that sounds a lot, but when you spread it across the day, it is completely manageable. So here's how you could potentially lay it out. For breakfast, it could be some oats, banana, honey with some whey protein. For lunch, chicken and rice, bit of olive oil with some veg. And then for dinner, pasta with a light sauce or potato with some lean meat. And then for an evening snack, it could be a little bit like cereal, toast, or even like a fruit smoothie. You're not trying to feel stuff, you're fueling gradually. Topping up glycogen without the food coma. Now, here's not what you want to do. Don't do the classic carb panic. When you realize at 9 p.m. that you've hardly ate any carbs all day, and then you try to fix it by inhaling a massive bowl of pasta, that's not fueling. It's like trying to fill the tank with a bucket. It'll work eventually, but you'll spill most of it on the floor. Be organized, spread it across your meals, and you'll be fine. Also, let's not forget about hydration because it's massive. Here's something that most players forget. Glycogen binds onto water. Roughly about 3 to 4 grams of water per gram of carbohydrates. So if you're not hydrating, you can't store carbohydrates properly. That's why adding a pinch of salt or even using electrolyte tabs isn't a bad idea. Sodium helps your body hold onto that fluid in your muscles, not just pee it straight out. And guys, last but not least, number 3, visualization. It's time to train your mind like a muscle. Now, we've sorted the body. Let's talk a bit into the one that no one trains properly, the mind. If you wait until match day to get focused, you're already behind. Your mental state on match day -1 sets the tones for everything else that follows. This is where visualization comes in. And before you roll your eyes at me, I'm not talking about sitting cross-legged and meditating on a hill humming. I'm talking about mentally rehearsing, walking through your games in your head before it happens. And you know it, I'm going to pull some science across. A 2021 paper in Frontiers of Psychologically showed that visualizing movements activates the same neural pathways in the brain as actually performing them. In other words, when you picture yourself making that first pass or timing that challenge, your brain fires the same circuits that it does controlling those movements. It's basically training without moving, And the best part is, it doesn't cost anything. You'll be quite surprised how much it will affect your performance, and it'll just allow you to be one step ahead of your opponents. So this is how I potentially have done it in the past. I find somewhere a little bit quiet, or I've done this while I've been watching clips of my game. Lucky enough, I play for a club that allows me to film my games on a video. So if you do have that, that'd be really good, useful. Run through the game in your head. See yourself stepping onto the pitch, doing the warm-ups, your first touch, your first sprint, your first communications. You're not imagining fantasy gold, you're rehearsing your role. The more vivid it is, what you see, hear, feel, the more powerful it becomes. You're basically pre-programming confidence. When I started introducing this to my players, they said the biggest change was the fact that the first 5 minutes felt calmer. They wasn't chasing the game anymore. Their body and their mind was already connected. Now, this might sound a bit obvious, but your match day -1 isn't just physical and mental prep. It's also about clarity. If you're not sure what your role is for the next day, ask. Speak to your coach. Get feedback. Watch clips. Understand your jobs. It's mad how many players overthink what's out of their control instead of just asking, what do you need from me tomorrow? That conversation alone can save you a ton of stress, and I think that's so much worth it. So, here's the last thing before we go into a little bit of a recap. The night before. Here's one thing I get asked a lot. What should I do the night before a game? My honest opinion, keep it boring. Stick to the routine. Don't experiment with new supplements or new meals. Don't suddenly decide you're going to watch a 6-part Netflix series and stay up to 2 p.m. Keep it calm. Pack your kit. Charge your GPS. Lay out your clothes. Know your travel times. Then, once you've done all of that, switch off. Go to bed knowing that you've done all the work. Because the best players aren't guessing. They're prepared. Right. Let's recap this all up. Because I want you to walk away from this episode knowing exactly what to do and make sure that your next game is your best performance. So, primer session. Short, sharp, intentional. 20 to 30 minute max. Focus on speed, movement and rhythm. Carb loading. Fuel evenly throughout the day and aim for somewhere between 8 to 10 carbohydrates per kilogram of body weight. Hydrate. Don't forget your electrolytes. And the last one, guys, is visualization. Take 5 to 10 minutes to mentally rehearse tomorrow. See yourself doing what you need to do and then build that confidence. And then quick little bonus for you guys, just a little bit of thank you for staying this long into the podcast. I can't finish this episode without mentioning sleep. Because if you're doing everything right, but you're going to go to bed at 1 a.m. scrolling TikTok, it's all for nothing. Make sure that you're getting 7 or plus 8 hours of sleep, because less time than that has shown to have slower reaction times, reduced accuracy, and higher injury rates. So if you care about your performance, set a bedtime. I know it's boring, but boring wins games. Alright guys, that is a wrap on today of the episode of the MH Performance Podcast. Hopefully you now got a proper structure for your match day -1. Some things you can actually follow and not just guess, because this is the stuff that separates the players who feel off it from the ones who dominate from the first whistle. If you found this useful, share it with a teammate or tag me on Instagram, Miles Harrison PT, and I love seeing the players apply this stuff in real time. And if you want more in-depth breakdowns like this every week, join my MH Performance weekly newsletter. You'll find a link in the description or at www.mhperformance.co.uk. Thank you very much guys for tuning in, and as always, keep training and always improve your performance.